Good morning, everybody. Friday the 19th, 2021. Just waiting to get a couple of people to join in. Just trying to sort out the formalities while we're busy setting up. I will be alone in this session this morning. Cobus has got some personal things to take care of. And thanks for joining and thanks for joining in. Today we're going to have a nice topic to talk about. And yes, let's just wait, give a couple of more seconds. People to join in. Yeah. Right. I hope you had a great week. Thus far, looking forward to the weekend. Today's topic that we're going to discuss is all about, has it ever occurred to you why mountaineers need a guide to climb a mountain? Why mountaineers need a guide? To conquer a mountain like Mount Everest or Kilimanjaro for that matter, one will need a guide because it's not a very easy task to conquer, or mountains to conquer for that matter. Why do we need a guide? A guide is the subject matter expert of that area. He most probably grew up in that area. He knows the area very well. And also, before you set out to climb a mountain, you'll have to draw up some sort of plan. We've spoken about goals. So in other words, the goal of the mountaineer is to reach the top or the peak of the mountain. So before you set out to reach any goal, you have to set up a map or a plan for that matter. Actually a plan, massive action plan. So this is where the guide comes in. You will sit down with the guide, or maybe you'll use one guide, or normally the guys use one guide. You'll sit down with the guide, set up your plan, prepare your plan, and how you will go about on reaching the peak of the mountain. One cannot just go out there and climb the mountain. Although you're an experienced mountaineer, you'll always need a guide because the guide is familiar with this territory. Let's say it will take you 6 hours to reach the first base camp. And it depends on what time you need to start climbing. You will be faced with challenges. And also, when you're excited and driven to get up this mountain or to reach this goal of yours, or the peak of the mountain, one can get easily sidetracked and start looking around and enjoy the awesomeness of nature or the creation, and you will forget about your time span that you have to get to the next level or to the next base camp, where the guide will be the guy that will keep you accountable. Let's call it accountable to reach every mile. Let's call it a milestone to the top. It's like it will be like a little project to reach the top of the mountain or the peak of the mountain, because each and every base camp has how you reach top, and also have to calculate and work carefully with your guide as to how you're going to get to the top, how you're going to get to the next base camp for that matter. And also another thing is that in nature, we don't control nature. At any point in time, it might start raining, it might get windy, and this is where the guide will be very, very important. So for that matter, I also asked myself, why do we, as normal, how can I put it, everyday employees, everyday business owners, for that matter, why don't we also make use of a guide to hold us accountable, to achieve our goals, to take us through our fear barriers, um, to get us out of our comfort zone and to stretch us and to help us to get to the different milestones in our project as to where we want to be. If you want to reach the next level as a leader, if you're a 9 to 5 employee, how do you stretch yourself? Have you ever thought about that? Courage is one of the things that you need as a leader. And courage is driven by confidence. So how do you get confident to go to the next level? And it's the same climbing this mountain, because once there's a storm that starts brewing, all of a sudden we will start getting worried and on top of that mountain. And the guide will be there to say, let's just calm down. Let's do this. Let's spend the next day or whatever, look for a better shelter or something like that, just to get through the storm. And the guide is also there to calm you in that period. And the guide is also there to help you to regain your confidence, to regain your focus as to what your goal is that you want to reach. And it's the same in our businesses and in our how can I put it, in our everyday life. Especially now during this pandemic period. Fear going around. There's a lot of uncertainty at this point in time. And 2021 is just a repeat of 2020. And how do we stay focused? How do we get to the next level? How do we get to the next base camp, for that matter? Why don't we also buy into a guide? Or employ a guide? Or get a guide to teach us and coach us and help us to get to the next level? To break through that fear barrier, to stay confident, to build up courage, to stay positive, to go to the next level, and to stay focused on our goal. And to help us to adjust the plan and not throw the goal out at the window and change the goal. I mean, we're going to the top of the mountain. So our goal is to reach the top of the mountain, not to reach the bottom of the mountain. So if we're going to go down to the bottom, it's a totally different goal. And it's the same. If you've taken the decision to become a leader in your 9 to 5 job, or to become a successful business owner, or for that matter, to increase your sales by 100,000, for that matter, don't you think it's time to get the help of a guide or a coach, or to start investing in yourself, for that matter? Because to get a guide or to get a coach is investing in yourself. Remember, we've spoken about this in previous videos, is that we get paid for the value that we bring to the market. And if we are not people of value, we cannot add value to the market, for that matter, and we cannot add value to other people. So think about this for a minute. You are your most valuable asset. You are your most valuable asset. And it all comes down to branding again. This is a bit off the topic a bit, but again, your guide will help you, or your coach will help you to stay focused, to get to where you want to be, because the guide is the subject matter expert. The guide has been there before. And I just want to leave you with this. Successful people also make use of guides. to buy mistake avoiding advice and guidance. Listen carefully. Successful people also make use of guides to buy mistake avoiding advice and guidance. What it means in short is, for that matter, if you want to start up a business or if you want to go to the next level in your career or whatever the case may be, we have a tendency, we have a tendency that whatever gives us pain becomes our fear. It's not a bad thing, though. It's all part of our survival mechanism. So to come back to the advice of the rich people, or the successful people for that matter, rich is not all about money. Rich is about being successful in life as well, and having a lot of money and being happy, and that's why you will become a rich person. But for that matter, if you can get a guide which can help you to avoid all these little holes and mistakes and painstaking events, or for that matter, if you want to call it that way, they can help you to reach your goal much quicker and to help you to avoid all the pitfalls, and also to help you to achieve your goal. Because what happens if we are dumbstruck by pain and fear? The tendency of us all is that we just let go of our goal and dream. And that's where I want to leave you today. Why don't you follow the advice of the mountaineers by investing in a guide to reach to the top of the mountain? Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining in, and God bless.